بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. I think it is time to start with the second session, and before starting I want to shed light on something about the Islamic cultural movement. And the non-objective media is a way to bury and to conceal truth of the Islamic cultural movement. And one of the main we can say repertoire of attacking Islam is the fact that believe the separation of Islam from state and religion. Okay, but in fact when you try to focus on the Islamic societies, you find there is no separation. I mean, they try to promulgate to the West, to the readers in the West orbits of academic fields, academic research fields, that there's a state of separation between religion and state. And whether it's true or not, this is not the main concern. As much as man is pertinent to faith, I mean, what's the benefit of religion and there is no faith? So faith is the main target and the main mission of the highest states of authority, I mean the religious authority. And one of the main examples, the way that people obey the religious authority. And in time of hardship, when IS endeavors to invade the country, from one edict, I mean fatwa, you find people respond with a great vehement morale to defend the land without any demur. This is a fact. So separation between religion and state is not a matter. Yes, it's a matter in theory, but in practice we have something different. And the second point, they try to attack that man in the Middle East has no doctrine. So sometimes they show kinds of loyalty to Daesh, to certain militia. Okay, so here they talk about loyalty. Loyalty related to man, its innermost passions. No one could fathom, no one could measure. You see, so they state things without any can say objective results or experiments. Okay, you see, so this is found in a book called The Early Islam and Modern Islam. These sources talk about such a matter, okay, that Islam is the religion of terrorism, fanaticism, extremism. You see, why? Because they depict Islam from the perspective of Daesh, from the perspective of terrorists, gangs, and rogue groups. You see, I mean, Islam could be measured and fathomed from its people. I mean, rather than to have a source not authentic enough to be trusted. Once in the conference, I think the fourth, one of the researchers asked the legal trustee, Sayyid Ahmed al-Safi, and she told him, you are Shiites, okay? So how do we understand you? How do we perceive you as Shiites? So Sayyid at that time told her, it's easy way. I mean, don't, we can say, pay much attention to sources and figures. So try to feel people, okay? Try to see. I mean, when you deal with someone, you could perceive his doctrines, faith, rather than you read about him something. And also he told her, I could guide you to this library with the great books and sources, but in vain. You could what? You could guide yourself into the heart of people. Now you can't walk and talk with everyone. and you will see what kind of people we are. And really, I mean, there is no benefit of the media when it depends on sources. And then if we try to trace sources, we find them, most of them fake or fabricated, twisted, okay? So there is no benefit. So this is one of the main tools to stymie the non-objective media by truth, reality. I mean, here we are concerned, and it's our task to depict reality with essays, research studies, rather than we depend on sources and sources and sources. Why? Because they believe that these sources are fabricated. So we have many examples in life. We have ground facts. So it's better to strike one of them into reality rather than to depend on sources. I mean, the example and the evidence almost always found here. Okay, and thank you very much for this inkling. And I find it quite important. Yesterday, with the Arabic papers, I found, most of the articles rotate around this fact. Now we come to the first speaker, Dr. Safa Al-Waili. He is a great researcher in the field of security, cybersecurity, and with a great repertoire in this orbit. And he participated in the Almid conference several times. And I hope you will enjoy his lecture, and you will have great benefit from him, inshallah. Welcome, Dr. Safa.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الواسع المنير الذي خلق الكون بالتدبير، والصلاة والسلام على محمد البشير وعلى آله ذوي العلم ومنبع الخير. Assembled dignitaries, respected doctors and professors, all attendees with respect to all positions and titles, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start going through the research paper, I would like to express my deep thanks and gratitude to the Holy Imam Abbas Holy Shrine, peace be upon him, and to Al-Kafil and Al-Amid universities. Also special thanks to the Society of Al-Amid and to Dr. Haider for all the efforts he made during the stages, starting from the preparation stage to the implementation stage for this conference. The main topic of my research paper is about media. The title is Media, a Soft Weapon which is used by terrorism. I did my best, I tried my best to avoid repetition, because the main purpose of the research process is to bring something new. The presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, is mainly containing pictures and short sentences. Then I will go through them and start elaborating on the terminologies and the ideas of the research paper. Many professional and academic sectors and fields of life have witnessed a great change. And of course there is a reason for this change. It is not an arbitrary process. There is a purpose. One of the fields and one of the sectors which has seen a great change is media. So what kinds or what types of media do we have? We all know that during the recent years, trends of life have changed greatly, and before we had what is so-called traditional media. Traditional media like TV, journalism, radio, and so on. But what I may call the dark powers, those who are working hardly to target the human being and to target our societies, they started searching for new means, for new tactics, for new technologies. And they found that traditional media is no longer responding to their needs and responding to their goals. So they have found something new, and this something new is due to the technological development that the world is witnessing in the time being. We have online media. Sometimes they call it digital media, and sometimes we call it social media. Anyway, whatever we call it, there is a purpose for this change, and the purpose is targeting the human being. You know that this world is not running without control. There are some powers which are controlling the world, and we have different types of power. We have what is so-called hard power, and we have what is so-called soft power. The human being is made of two elements. The first one is the physical element of the human being, which is the body, and the soft part of the human being is the brain or the mind. And unless the brain or the mind is giving instructions to the body cannot run normally. That's why we have two types of power. We have hard power, which is the power that is targeting the physical part of the human being to destroy it, and we have the soft power. I don't know whether some or all of you have heard about the term soft power. Soft power has been firstly established in 2000 or 2001 by the US Deputy Minister of Defense. He established or invented this new terminology. They call it soft power. And with the establishment of this terminology, a new era of political or a global political system has totally changed. So the great powers or the dark powers or whatever we call them, they were trying to use a mixture of the two types of power. Sometimes when they want to target countries, they use armies. Sometimes the physical power is not bringing the preferred results or to achieve the required goals. Sometimes they are using soft power. Unfortunately, in the Arab world and in the Middle East, they started using soft power widely because they know very well our strength as a society is built on our value system. In order to destroy this value system, you have to destroy two things. You have to destroy the faith itself, and you have to destroy the awareness of the people. And one of the tools and the means that the soft power currently is using, media. So media is a tool. And as Dr. Haider said, in fact, we were discussing this morning, I told him I have some comments and some reservations on the title of the conference, because for me, according to my humble opinion and understanding and analysis, I do not believe in the term non-objective media. Media cannot be non-objective. It is the use of media which is non-objective. Media is not guilty. It is not the fault of media. So we have a lot of tools in life. Let me give you an example. We have knives in the kitchens. You can use a knife to prepare food, which is a good purpose, a positive purpose. But at the same time, you can use a knife for pulling. So it is not the guilt of the knife, it is the guilt of the usage of tools themselves. That's why, as I said, in order to control the human behaviors, the dark powers, they wanted to change what I may call the mental images of the human being, to build the new images in the minds. And there is a reason behind that. When you change the mental images and the ideas of a human being, then you are going to control the psychology of the audiences. And you can direct them to the point that you desire or to the point that you want. So media has been used as a soft weapon, and our enemies are really smart. We are very happy today. We are convening here to discuss the challenges that we are facing and trying to find solutions. But you have to keep in mind that our enemy, terrorism, criminal groups, are convening or meeting somewhere else in the world. They are doing the same thing. It's a chase and race. It's a big race. It's a quick process. So the winner is the one who is going to identify the challenges first and to find solutions. And the goals of using media as a soft power is, as I said, to build or to change the already existing mental images. Fill the mind with ideas, then ideas are going to run the body because the brain is running the body, and that will lead to a big impact on the human psychology and the human behaviors. In fact, I've done a lot of research papers and I have a lot of workshops with different governmental departments and directorates. One of them is the NSS, National Security Services. I asked them a question. I said, could you please tell me what are the reasons behind the strong waves of suicide? What are the reasons behind the diverse and the sexual behaviors of the new generation? They said we have different factors which are impacting this topic. I said, give me some of them. They said, what do you think? I said, okay, drugs, I understand it. Stress, I understand it. Economical reasons, joblessness, I understand it. They said, then this is the issue. I said, no. There is something. We are now exposed to a serious campaign to destroy our value system. If we want to feed the body, we will use food, right? So in order to destroy the body, we should feed the body with unhealthy food, like poison. I want to give you some information according to recent research papers in UK that I've done with some scholars there. They are saying that the type of foods that we are eating, because you know that we have the physical space of the country. We don't have control on the borders. It is open. There is no quality control. And regarding to the cyberspace, which is the space, the atmosphere, there is also no control. So we are an open country, like a house with open doors. We are getting everything without checks, without tests, without regulations, without effective laws. And the reason behind that is Iraq is suffering of weak rule of law. I have an application which is called Qanunchi. Iraq is a great country. We have more than 350 laws. Those laws are the greatest laws which have been written in this globe. But the problem is that they are only ink on papers. There is no rule of law. So let me go back to my point. The type of food that we are eating is affecting the human behavior. And if somebody of you has already traveled outside of Iraq, especially in Europe and US, they have two types of food. They have genetic and non-genetic food. Usually genetic food is very expensive, so poor people cannot buy it. If you cannot buy it, then you will be obliged. You must buy cheap food. That's what's going on in Iraq. Our consumption of non-genetic food is causing serious diversion in the human behaviors. So they are working in two directions. They are targeting the body. That's why we have a weak Ministry of Health, and they are attacking the brain. And you all are aware about the educational system in Iraq. So, media is one of the tools which is used to change the brain of the people. Then when we change the brain of the people, we change the behaviors. Who is doing this? I said the dark powers. The dark power could be terrorism. They could be criminal groups. They could be hidden agendas. I would not use security intelligence terms. They could be propagandas. And every now and then, in every stage, have you noticed that Iraq, every 5 years, we have a new stage? Al-Qaeda. Wasting of resources, spending a lot of money, losing a lot of lives. We get the control back. 5 years later, we have ISIL, Islamic State, in Iraq and Levant. So they are preparing different scenarios. The story will never end, by the way. And there is a reason that I don't want to go through, because we have to maintain the main purpose of the conference. One of the groups which have been created by, I would call them the unknown power. I know them in fact. I would call them the dark power, without naming any country, because the team is filming, so we have to avoid any legal or campaigns on media accusing
Another
us.
way of chasing the race.
Exactly. So we have to protect ourselves and of course to protect you, the audiences and the universities as well. Terrorism is using media. Have anybody asked himself why it has been called social media? So let us focus on the word social. Social, it is derived from society. Society means human being. Human being means life. So they are using social media because in the cyber world, the soft power is moving freely. If you have a traditional enemy and you have a traditional friend who is visiting you at your home, what are the boundaries that the traditional friend can reach? The guest room. Because we have borders, we have restrictions, we have walls, we have doors. This is the traditional friend. The traditional enemy, also a thief. He's looking for an open door. He might steal a gas cylinder from the front yard of the house because he knows very well that there are some restrictions, limitations that you cannot pass. The problem that we are seriously facing, our country is facing, is not the traditional friend or the traditional enemy. We have a new friend and a new enemy. Both of them, they are risky at the new generation, which is the cyber friend and the cyber enemy. You know that information are moving using signal. Signal is moving through the air. Air is available in every corner in our life. So, unfortunately, let me tell you this new information. Our dear cyber friend and our dear cyber enemy, they are everywhere in our houses, and they succeeded to jump through all restrictions and limitations, and they have entered even the bedrooms. That's why Iraq as a society is now facing serious threats to the human security. You heard about weapons of mass destruction. The new weapons of mass destruction is the online media, the digital media, the social media. Unfortunately, the situation is getting out of control. I have 4 kids, I have teenagers, and I did my best as a specialist and expert of cybersecurity and information security, trying to put control or at least set some guidelines for them. It is stressful. I mean, there is no success, there is no advance. So the new weapons of mass destruction are the soft weapons. The soft weapons are not rockets, they are Facebook rockets, TikTok rockets, YouTube rockets. I am from the old generation, so I don't know all of them, in fact. Because of my kids, they taught me recently how to use a Snapchat. In fact, I don't know it. But this is the problem. Now, even the title of my research paper, yesterday at night I started thinking, preparing some ideas. I said, look, Safa, you know, I should not say media as a soft weapon used by terrorism. I should say misused. So it is about using things in negative or positive way, in good and bad. There is a very famous saying, it says, if it bleeds, it leads. It is in media. Let me give you an example. Now we have 2 cameras, 2 TV channel stations. One of them is broadcasting the session, and one of them is broadcasting a suicide attack at Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Iraq. I guarantee you, nobody is watching Al-Amid conference session, and this is not something wrong. There is a reason behind that. We are all human beings. We are worried about our life, our safety, and our security. So we look to things that might bring any impact or affect our life. And all of us also, when we are watching on TV, well, nobody is watching TV anymore. I stopped watching TV since 3 years, in fact. I'm using digital media. So if we hear about a security incident, a terror attack in US, Europe, anywhere in the world, we feel worried a little bit, because this is a threat can extend to other areas like fire. So a threat anywhere in the world is a threat everywhere. We are not safe, because the challenges that we are facing are really serious, and those new challenges, I call them soft challenges. US forces are no more in need to send armies to invade, like what happened in the Arab Spring. And instead of sending a bomb, a car bomb, an army, they send a bombed idea. And if I want to do an experiment right now, I can, from this place, using my phone, burn Iraq in 30 seconds. You know why? Because ignorance is the fuel of destruction. There is a lack of awareness among people. I can do a fake post on Facebook saying that Al-Amid conference now, there is an explosion and 20 got killed. I would not require people to believe me, but it will take time, it will take effort, it will take space. You go to the street, everybody is talking about this issue. The mothers, when they are meeting in the afternoon in front of our houses, they become political analysts. They started spreading, you know, the propagandas. So we have a lot of tools in life which are dual used. As I said, the knife is dual used. Media is also dual used. It can be used for good, positive purposes, and it can be used for bad, negative purposes. So now we have 2 sides in the scale. We have terrorism and we have counter-terrorism. We are here in this hall, we are doing counter-terrorism because we are trying to find, to stand on the challenges and finding solutions. our enemies in the other part of the world are doing the same thing. And by the way, they are not ignorant people, they are very well organized, them and the powers behind them. So they are doing the same thing, they are looking for challenges, searching for gaps to attack and target us. Two sides weapon, media. Sometimes I'm going a little bit deeply in philosophy. I change the positions of words. So I was thinking, media terrorism or terrorism media? Media is supporting terrorism, but also terrorism sometimes is serving the media because it is bringing more audiences and more incomes. I will repeat the same question. Is media guilty? No, it is not the fault of media. Because the media process contains three parts, three elements. We have the sender, somebody who is sending the message, somebody who is sending the information. We have a receiver, somebody is receiving the information. And we have the message which has been sent. Do you think it is the guilt of the message, the guilt of the tool? No, it is the guilt of the users, the senders and the receivers. So senders are taking actions, receivers are doing reactions. Whether the reaction is positive or negative, it depends on different factors, like the degree and the level of education, awareness, faith. Media is the message, media is the content. So now we have determined the process of media. Let us know how terrorism started exploiting or started manipulating media. The first purpose of using modern media, online media, digital media, is for the sake of recruiting new fighters, or at least gaining a supporting sentiment. I have a relation with Dr. Haider. What type of relation? We have bonding. He is my close friend and colleague. Through Dr. Haider, to all of you, I don't know you, with all respect, I will do bridging. I will get to know you. Then my network will start expanding. That's what terrorism is doing right now, because there is a weak control on social media and digital media, and as I said, they can't reach to any home. They can't reach to anybody. You cannot prevent them. And they have succeeded greatly to recruit new fighters in different countries. Also, the second purpose of exploiting media by terrorism is to draw more attention. They do not want to draw attention for the sake of become famous only. No, they want to create a propaganda, and they want to start pressing on the international community and marketing their poisoned ideas and mottos. And as you know, the main purpose of terrorism is spreading terror. They want to make us always fearful. When you are scared, then you will be a tool in the hands of the dark powers. And also one of the important purposes of using media or misusing media by terrorism, it is a very easy, out of control means of communication. Because as I said, there is absence of regulations. We don't have efficient and sufficient laws. And as I said, the doors are open space and open place. So what to do? What should we do? Frankly speaking, we cannot deal with senders. Senders are everywhere. We cannot control the world. So we will leave the senders. Because if we want to deal with senders, to prevent them from sending messages, it is going to be very costly. It will require a lot of resources and efforts. But let us focus or try to do our best to monitor and control the messages. Also, on this level, I'm not optimistic. We cannot achieve a lot. But there is no damage of trying. Let us try to monitor the messages which are injected, which are entering the minds of our kids and our families. The biggest investment, in my opinion, is to work on receivers, all of us. So there is a principle in medicine. It says precaution is better than treatment, because treatment is always requiring a lot of money and there are no guarantees. So instead of just waiting the crisis to happen, why we don't think to do a risk management, to identify the threats, to identify the issues that are impacting our life and trying to put solutions. What to do? This is the conclusion, and my apology for taking too long. I tried to squeeze the ideas, but feel free to go through the research paper. It contains a lot of information. I think that Iraq as a country is in need for a new set of regulations and legislations to organize the use of media in order not to accuse media of being non-objective, and also to organize the receiving process of information. And unfortunately, till now, the last session of Al-Hamid conference in 2017, I presented a research paper, which was a project. I call it the National Cyber Security Project for Iraq. One of the suggestions that I raised to high-level governmental figures is to have a national communication system. Till now we have, I'm not against Zain Iraq or SSL, but we don't have a national communication system, and this is a great gap. If you do not control your space, if you do not control your borders, then it is easy for enemies to get through. The other important thing is we need to create what I call mental immunity. You know that most of us, I think all of us, we have taken the COVID-19 vaccine, right? So I think we need mental vaccine. We need to work a lot on raising the awareness of the society and to cut the way on the road against any attempts by our enemies to get through our minds and to change the overall psychology of the society and the audiences. Also, I would suggest to Al-Hamid and Al-Kafir universities, when I lived in London, I found something really strange. I was very surprised. In every corner, in every street, they have what they call think tanks. I call them ترسانات فكرية أو مراكز التفكير. Everywhere. They are helping the government, doing research papers. So I think we do need some think tanks, or maybe you call them strategic study centers. You may say that we have some centers. We have, but if we don't have, it's better, because they are not doing their job in the correct way. Also, we need to establish counter cyber terrorism and counter terrorism media. We need to focus on that. We need also workshops, we need conferences, and also we need to focus on the media system in Iraq by encouraging them to focus on the use of media negatively by terrorism. There is never a wrong time to do the right thing. I would not say it's too late. It's late a little bit, but it's not too late. We still have a chance. We still have opportunity. We need a collective work. We need a teamwork. It is not one man job. It is everybody's responsibility. So at the end of my presentation, I repeat my apology if I took more time. Thank you so much for your kind listening, and the floor is open for any questions.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. First of all, I have 2 points here. You know, we are great in legislating and setting rules, but we are, you know, you can say, too clumsy to apply it and activate these rules. Okay. Of course, for the media there are many regulations and conditions, but sometimes they derail from it, according to certain political and personal interest, of course. Number 2, the state of the High Minister of Education, sometimes they release this wave of retirement for the great pillars. I call them, as Dr. Safa said, the think tank. Okay, so here they are retired. So without any attempt to exploit their accumulative experience throughout ages. So now they are left behind, marginalized. And in Iraq, we have the Council of the Wise Men, Majlis al-Hukama, led by Dr. Musa al-Musawi. And they are doing their best. But you know, since it's non-state organization, so they do something shy, you see. I mean, they try their best, but without any help. And we have, inshallah, in the coming months, a great deal with them. And there will be a kind of symposiums on family deterioration, devastation, challenges, and so on. Yes, please. Now, do you have any question, comment, inquiry to ask Dr. Safa? Yes, please. Okay, I'm finished almost. Yes, any question, please?
No, just comments.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the wisdom council of Dr. Musa.
Yes.
Still, it's a private.
Yes, I say non-state. You see. Yes.
Their activities is very
Shy. I call it shy. Okay.
very low.
But they are
Not,
effective according to their cumulative experience, and this is my, can say, issue here. I mean, what's the benefit of having these great peoples and pillars with the great cumulative experience and sit behind, left behind, watched a show? What's the benefit? There's no benefit. And I have a great example with my friend and Paragon. Sorry, Dr. Farid Hindawi. He's a great pillar in pragmatics and with great articles, books. But now he's just like, we can say, left behind with his mind. And I think he could do the best if he's, in activity again. So this is one of the main defects in the Minister of Higher Education when they leave such pillars left without any compensation. Okay, you see, I mean, it's hard to leave such figures in time you have no one behind. You see, I mean, knowledge should be devolved, okay, rather than left some gaps. And according to the gaps Dr. Safa mentioned here, the terrorist groups try to exploit the gap, okay, in the society. Just imagine in the Ministry of Higher Education there are many gaps left behind, since there is no great professors. In the Higher Ministry of Education we are teaching not by stick, we are teaching by morality and knowledge. So there are 2 ways to dominate students, either by your knowledge, cumulative experience, otherwise there is nothing, you see. So I mean, here now we need great teachers to attract sight mind of the students, rather than to have nothing. The teachers nowadays, they are yes, young, but with still at the first threshold of their knowledge, no way to dominate the class. Okay, I mean, since there is no power, no authority, So you have nothing, only to confront them with information, with a kind of knowledge. So now you could guide them into the right way. Okay. Yes, please. Now, yes, Dr. Walid, welcome.
I'd like first to thank you for this great
Yes.
process.
Really, we thank you almost always, Dr. Walid. You are the one of the main establishing people here. You are with us from the first conference to this one, and almost always you try your best to have authors from worldwide, and you have great connects with them. Yes.
Actually, I'd like to thank Mr. Bach for what
Thank you so
he has presented today. What he has presented actually very good. So I agree with you. Don't go in. I disagree with you. Another point.
Okay.
So when you said that your suggestion for a new center that to change the title of the conference, I think that you are not right with this because we have objective media and we have non-objective media. You said that we don't have objective media and we have non-objective media. Actually, I don't agree with you. We have non-objective media. And you also mentioned that the terrorists, they misuse of media. You said that it is not use of media, but misuse of media. I don't agree with you like that because simply non-objective media is highly established. So people who are who want to transmit something bad to people at home, they spend a lot of money on that, and they have organizations for that, and so we have non-objective media. This is my point, and I agree with you when you said that we should focus on the receiver. That's right. We should focus on, and I have a suggestion for that. I think that I recommend that the next conference will be on how we can build a human being and how we can build a society so that we can encounter such dangers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walid. Dr. Haidar, if you allow me, please.
Yes.
I really appreciate the points that you brought up on the table. In fact, let me just to clarify. I have not objected on the title of the conference, but I said my understanding when you say non-objective, I said it is not the guilt of media. And when you said we have media organizations which are not non-objective, can I ask you a question? Is it the media itself which is non-objective,
Yes.
or the ones who are running them? The operators?
I know, but they transmit something which is non-objective. Actually, when, for example, we have evil and we have right. We don't
Yes.
have only right. We have evil and we have. How do we know that this is evil and this is right? So we have to analyze. We have to know what is evil and what is right. You said that it's just like a glass of water. We can put wine into the glass and you can put water into the glass. So I think this is not good explanation.
Well, as I said, Dr. Walid, I'm not in a position to.
So, for example,
Yes.
when they want to say something to people, they add a word, for example, and this word is very dangerous. So this is non-objective. So when they want to transmit something, they have to say something which is don't hurt others. Don't transmit something wrong.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haidar. Yes, sir.
But the problem is here that we don't have control on the media.
Of course.
The media now is funded without control. And of course, with this funding, we find not objective channels, social media, even official media. It's not all times under control. So many mistakes happens during the last 10 years. So the problem is very big. The problem is very big and
Complicated since there are certain heads.
the main problem is we have wrong planning, not only for media, for all sectors, because the media have audience and receivers. So these not control, those not control also. So the system need to be controlled So
Be arranged.
Yeah, we have to build some model and then we can regrow in different governance or different cities or different social communities, universities. Or then we have to see how the result can be after. Because now if we stay on this system, على فوتوماتر كلنا يبردون على رينا. I don't
Doctor,
know how you can
thank you
translate
so
it.
much. You know, I would say that I do not believe that something is impossible. At least we have to
That's
do our
possible.
role.
Yes, to
Yeah,
start.
we have to
This
do
will
our
not
best.
be the big work.
The problem, you know, Doctor, this is a very important point. You know why we cannot control media? Because of democracy. I'm not
Yes.
against democracy.
Right.
Do not misunderstand me. Because right of expression, and this is a legal problem in Iraq, everybody is saying anything. When you make a legal case against him in the court says it is under right of expression. There is another law which says we have to protect our national security. So we have gray areas now
Yes.
in the Iraqi legal system. That's why we have to work on reviewing all existing
Is the models of solar.
exactly. I have an essay which I have published I think 5 years ago. I got a big criticism and I got some threats. I call it democracy of mass destruction. And as I mentioned already, I'm not against democracy. But I just wanted to highlight it is the misuse of things. Everything in life is like a paste. You can make piece of bread. You can use it. You can put a poison and kill somebody. And also, thanks to Dr. Haider to bring this another point as well. You know, we have different actors and factors which are causing the problem. From the root, from the bottom to the top. So it is not one man effort or one man job. It is not one organization or an institution job. It requires a collective effort. All of us here, we are responsible in front of ourselves first, in front of our society second, and in front of God third. So we are in race. I would not say competition because it is not honorable process. It is a race. The one who has strong muscles, the one who is drinking power liquids, he will win. So instead of just crossing our hands and sitting, and I think this is the main purpose of such a conferences. We are here to discuss, to examine, to assess what kind of risks that are threatening our life, or what are the impacts, whether now or in the future. And you know, we have 3 levels. We have a vulnerability, a gap. We do an assessment, we identify the gap, then we design a management process. If we succeed to manage, then we will keep the threat or the issue at this level. If we are not accurate in our assessment, then our management plan is not going to be accurate. It will go to the next level, which is from vulnerability or gap to a threat. We will do an assessment. We will identify threats. We will design management plan. If we succeed, we are in a good position. If not, we will reach to the level of risk. And of course, I don't want to go to technical sides. There is a difference between a threat and a risk. So we do a risk assessment. We identify the risk. And we design management plan. If we succeed, till this level, we are in the safe side. Like, there will be a car bomb. Have we got a car bomb? No. Now we are in this early stage. So our measurement of success is not to wait the incident, the attack to happen, and then we will react. I am mind-oriented towards risk management. They call me the man of risk management, which is, as I said, in the medicine, precaution is always better than treatment. Not only in medicine, everything in life. So the problem in Iraq right now, we are in a crisis management country. So we are dealing with one crisis. The next day we have 10 new crises. There is a big failure. I'm not pointing the finger or pushing the responsibility towards the government. As I said, all of us, we are responsible for this. But I want to conclude saying that if we do not have the best, let us make the best of what we have. Something is better than nothing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Safa, for your great article. And as per usual, you are with the great information to serve mind. And I remember the first article of you in the Almid conference. It was about the cyber security, and we are still in the orbit of the cyber security. And this is, the destiny we fall in. Okay, and inshallah, we'll get more and more brilliant than ever before, inshallah. Thank you, Dr. Safa, very much.
Dr. Haider, before I leave the stage, because I have been exposed to new terminologies and new processes outside of Iraq. I mean, last night I slept only 2 hours because awareness is a problem. As much knowledge, as much awareness you have, as much more suffering you will be in. So I was trying to at least give you some terms. You can search on Google or you do search papers. It is like a dark tunnel. I'm trying to look for a hub. Have you heard about the dark web? We have the normal web, the internet, and we have the dark internet. And the dark internet, it is a different world. We have new technologies. Have you heard about the hologram? Read about it. Have you heard about metaverse? Have you heard about geospatial? We have different generations of wars. Now the world has reached to the 6th generation. But for us, we are on the 3rd level. I think the 2nd level. So, as I said, we need to mobilize efforts. We need to better use our resources, and let us hope that in the future, though I have a doubt, little doubt about it, but let us do our best and do our job. Thank you, Dr. Kader. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes, now we come to Dr. Ansal Maroof, and welcome to attend the conference, and this is for her time, and inshallah will not be the last, and with the great pleasure to have her here, and she's a staff member from the University of Tikrit, College of Education. Welcome, Doctor.
Thanks. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. It's an honor for me to be here today with you for the first time to attend this conference in Al-Almid Society. Thanks a lot for the great invitation. Dear Doctor, it's my pleasure to be with you, dear colleagues, and my paper is entitled Verbatim Theatre and its application, a study of selected plays, and I hope that this is the first time that you have faced such a title, Verbatim Theatre. Verbatim theatre is a kind of theatre that is intended to deal with theatre has always been one of the media elements which repeats or represents the spirits of the period that it treats. Verbatim theatre in Islam is a more dramatic genre born out of the documentary theatre, so it embodies reality it doesn't deal with imaginative things or imaginary things, rather than deals with facts, with real things, with real words, with real experience of people. So it deals with reality than imagination. So it doesn't resemble any kind of literature. It identified itself. So we try to represent verbatim theater as a kind of media that rejects lies. It tries to say that we can make a kind of media that treats with reality only, with the real experience and suffering of the people. So it is a new kind of theater that depends heavily on what? On the documentation of everything, whether they are the documentation of the courts or of the people or the real conversation between many individuals in the streets or in any kind of experience, life experience. So this is a kind of verbatim theater. The paper tries to answer the following questions. What is verbatim theater? What is the relation between verbatim theater and the mass media? Can it be regarded as a social expression? How can it contribute to creating a new collective consciousness? Because as you know, collective consciousness is one of the important things that we should work on it, because it helps people to realize the reality. For example, when they face media and all the news inside media, how can they evaluate the reality and non-reality in that news? According to what? According to the kind of consciousness. Do they have enough consciousness regarding what they hear or what they listen to, or not? Because everyone in the society thinks that media gives us real things, real information. They depend heavily on what media said in news or in reports or in any kind of news that they have or they see. So we try to say that no, you should have a consciousness regarding what you are facing in the media. Why? Because throughout your mentality, throughout your critical thinking, you can judge whether this news or this information is real or not. Does it have any agenda behind them or no? This is very important in receiving information. So verbatim theater tries to teach people how to deal with information. They try to bring certain information in a very actual matter or manner in order to help people deal with real information. We can judge information and receive them and think critically regarding them. Media is an outstanding tool that can express and change the world view toward things. As we have heard from Dr. Safa in his very nice presentation, media can change our life, and it did. In fact, it changed our life and the life of the whole world. So it is, or it can be, an expression of the life, and it can be a stereotype for the image of life. And we have received all our, let's say, our models from the media. Nowadays, when we talk with, for example, with girls in schools or in universities, we find certain criteria of beauty, right? are they the, let's say, the general rules of beauty? No, of course. They are the rules of media, just the rules of media. All of them want to be Barbie. Why? Because Barbie is a model of beauty. So all of them go to, let's say, to have plastic surgery. Why? Because all of them want to imitate certain image. What kind of image? The image that is exposed by the mass media. There is certain criteria. There is also certain criteria regarding what? Regarding the hero, regarding the young people, regarding the children. So we have many phenomena that appeared after using certain kind of media regarding persons, individuals, and all the characters in the society. So that we have many phenomena, bad phenomena, such as bullying, one of the, let's say, phenomena that are spread in the whole world, in schools, in universities, even at homes. Why? Because we have certain ideas regarding things, regarding our children, regarding our wives, regarding our husbands, regarding our neighbors, regarding every man or woman in the society, every individual in the society. So we have certain ideas. Where from come this idea or ideas? From the media, from the mass media. So controlling the mass media, controlling the, let's say, the receiving of the information from the mass media is our concern in this conference as in my paper, because as much we care about how to receive the information is as much we can be saved from the bad consequences of the mass media. Why? Because all of us are concerned with this matter. كلكم راعي وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Why? Because each one of us has his own role in the society, in his life and in the other's life. So I think drama, and I am a dramatist, I am a professor in drama. I think that drama has its own role in creating such a collective consciousness in the mind of the people, because it, let's say, reflects the dangerous matters that happen in the society, and they need to think about. We need to think about everything that happens in the society. Why such plastic surgeries happen all the time? Do we have enough money to do such surgeries? No, of course not. So why? Because there is some kind of, let's say, threatening, something threatens our girls regarding their beauty, regarding their image in the society. And all the time we have such threatening. So we need to think once and twice about everything that happens in the society. Verbatim theater, in fact, deals with such information, with such issues in the society. Why? Because they, inside verbatim theater, they try to present such kind of a drama which helps people to express themselves. The verbatim theater needs people from street to participate in the performance of the drama. It's not the kind of a drama that depends only on the actors, but on the audience as well. So it is such a kind of interactive drama. It shows vividly the suffering of the people, the life issues of the people that can be criticized and can be treated throughout the dramatic performance. So it is a life kind of a drama, and it helps people to judge the reality from lies, and how to deal with the real information and the fabricated information they face through media. And it is a trial by the dramatist to have another kind of media which is real, which is full of facts, and which can contribute in helping people understand what is going on around them. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Doctor, indeed, for your article. Yes, please. Do you have any question, inquiry, please?
Expect
Yes.
you will show us some short record of Verbatim theater.
Yes.
I have no,
That can
I have no such.
make it more easier to explain.
Yes. You know, literature by some means or other, I mean, theater or drama or any genre, it's just like a message. Sometimes it's didactic, sometimes it's hedonistic. I mean, to teach and to give pleasure, okay? And that is why I say in modern age, they exploit literature with the great poems and fiction, drama, one-act play. But when you explicate and delve into the details, you find there's something malignant. You see, I mean, literature nowadays is not that literature. I mean, it's not literature for the sake of literature. I mean, literature for the sake of, mass destruction. Okay, just like what happened with the great artworks. You find it great, but when you read and when you analyze, you find something different. Yes, Dr. Thank you very much. Okay, and I hope you will be your second time. Yes, Dr. Safa. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This is a very interesting and useful presentation.
Thanks a lot.
In fact, you shed the lights on another factor, because in other countries, they are even collective processes. They are not focusing on one sector living. And thanks for bringing the importance of verbatim theater. You remind me with what we call improvised theater that I've seen somewhere in London. The actors, they just come without any written dialogue. They just start talking and giving a title of a topic. One of the topics is
And this concern your friend, Dr. Toby, I think. Yes, I remember him. Okay.
We have done this before in Baghdad, but unfortunately the project couldn't continue. We are now working with them, trying to revive this experience. And as you said, the drama is another field, which is drawing the attention in a friendly way. As Dr. Haider said, whether we cannot impose ideas by force. Even our kids nowadays, the generation don't change. You need to use convincing techniques.
Yes, of course.
That's why we have to be logical and realistic. I want to ask you a question, Dr. Please.
Yes, of course.
How do you evaluate the current theater situation in Iraq? And if you have any kind of suggestions about how to use drama or theater to, also as a soft power, to raise the awareness of it. Thank you so much.
Here I have something important to mention concerning the verbatim theater or literature. I find my kid 9 or 10 years, I don't know, okay? So memorizing a poem in Arabic, and she teacher told him to be memorized, okay? So I find him, iterating the words to be memorized, okay? So I pay attention to some words. One of them, to have things في الجيبي نضع الأشياء في الجيبي يعني. I mean, here it's a reference for someone who's stealing. So this is vulgar language. In poetry, colloquialism is quite delimited.
Yes,
I
of
mean,
course.
here, when poetry employs a kind of colloquialism, vulgar language, is what? To assault against the reader, to vex the reader. And this style used by Isa Pound to vex the reader. So here the word نحطه في الجيبي, what kind of poetry for the kids? So here we are destroying their innocence. I mean, we are to deal with what? With children. It means we are dealing with innocence. So the sublime language should be used here. So this is the purpose of the sublimity in language. So if the sublime language is not employed for kids, so for what?
For whom?
You see? I mean, with the Shakespeare, for example, artworks, you find language bifurcated. I mean, this for the queen, for the king, for the populace, and so on. So this is what Dr. Safa here to mention, the improvising theater, to have a theater quite convenient and equal to the audience. Thank you very much, Dr. Ansam.
But I want to
Okay,
answer
okay.
Dr. Safa.
Yes.
Thank you for your comment, Dr. For drama, I think the situation in Iraq is good, rather good. In the last month, there was a national festival of theater, and we have invited many, let's say, many companies, many theatrical companies, and they had performed their performances in Baghdad. And in this week, we have drama street or street drama in Kirkuk in a festival, and there were many performances in streets.
Yes,
In
pageantry.
Sulaymania
It's kind
as
of
well.
pageantry. Yes.
Yes, so there are many trials regarding drama, and all of them are successful, and they have awards and rewards. So there is a hope regarding
flick of hope, inshallah,
Iraqi drama. About using drama as a soft power, of course we can, because through drama we can teach our students how to criticize and how to think critically about the news and the media and how to deal with media. So there is a plea to use drama in educating our students, our teachers, even in primary and secondary schools, not only in universities, how teach them how to deal with a drama. And I have told you, Prof, about my experience
Yes.
with the UNESCO about training to the use of drama and critical thinking
Yes.
to deal with media in the correct way, and how to teach teachers how to deal with the media in order to help their students find
Yes.
some thing regarding the information received by the media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ansam. Thank you very much, and I hope really, personally, to have you again here in the coming conference, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thanks a lot.
Okay, welcome. Now we come to the third article by Dr. Rudaina from University of Tikrit, College of Education, and with her paper, and she's a brilliant staff member, and I hope you will enjoy time with her efforts, inshallah. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you so much. I want also to make copy paste for my presentation. For
Okay.
my, PowerPoint,
أستاذ حسن بن زحام.
because it is the same device. Yes.
Okay, before starting, Doctor, can you tell me what's the meaning of Rudaina?
رودينا.
Yes.
رودينا معناها الرمح.
Okay, thank you.
هو قبيلة سابقا اشتهرت بتصنيع الرماح، اسمها القبيلة الرودينية نسبة إلى رئيسة القبيلة اللي هي
Okay.
رودينا.
Okay,
كما يقول
welcome.
الشاعر حطيت الردينيات حتى طرحتها وحتى كأن السيف للرمح شاتمة.
إن شاء الله خير. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
So what shall I do? Okay.
What did he say?
Okay.
اسم عربي قديم.
هو اسم
Yes,
عربي
yes,
قديم
yes.
كان يستخدم بالقديم. على قولة أحد الأردنيين أشقائنا إخواننا الأردنيين أحد المؤتمرات قال هذا اسم مال ستاتنا يعني قديم كلش حسسني بأنه
Okay. Welcome,
Thank you
Dr.
so
Riyad.
much. Thank you, Dr. Haidar, for inviting me, and this is very kind of you.
Okay.
Now my presentation, my title or my topic is the role of imagination in children poetry, and it is supposed to be the role of media on steering the imagination of children poetry. In advance, I will tell you, I wanted to tell you that it is supposed to be so, but okay. The abstract media in general and social media in particular has a great role in steering children towards put up goals which are almost positive. It presents a unique ability to engage children in a new pattern of learning and behavior. It has the possibility to change their habits as well. It makes children confident by providing them a platform to express themselves and share content of all kids through internet. All what mentioned before are the positive effects of social media on children, in addition to the fact that it helps them to connect with extended family and friends. It encourages freedom of self-expression by motivating them to grade better. Just a minute. I think there is a difference between mine and this Dr. Ansam, because Dr. Ansam yesterday has helped me. Okay. Children and adults express themselves. Most of the internet channels, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Internet provides new opportunities for children to reflect their activities. Many professionals emphasize the importance of this means for imagination and creativity. This study deals with the role of imagination in children's poetry. In doing so, the paper examines the 3 poems titled The Land of Storybooks, My Bed is a Boat, and The Unseen Playmate. The poems were written by Robert Louis Stevenson. The role of imagination in children's poetry is very important, of course. Just a minute. It's very important to be discussed, especially in children's poetry. I think I mentioned it. The role of imagination in poetry is very important to be discussed, especially in children's poetry, because they use it as an avenue for escapism from reality. Children are different from the adults in the sense that they have no gap between dream and reality, and this is the important point that we are standing on it actually, because the imagination of children is different from imagination of mature or adults. Why? Because there is no gap between a dream and reality in children imagination, while adults cannot imagine something that it is not possible to be happened. So there is some difference between dream and reality. Poetry is a type of literature or artistic writing that attempts to stir a reader's imagination on emotions. The poet does this by carefully choosing and arranging languages for its meaning, sound, and rhythm. Some poems, such as nursery rhymes, short verses, and songs for children, tells a quick story in just a few lines, and their clever use of language makes them easy to remember. They are simple and humorous. Other poems may try to express some truth about life, to tell a story, or to honor a person or a god. Poetry appears in a great many forms and styles. Poetry is a literature that evokes a concentrated imaginative awareness of experience or a specific emotional response through language chosen and arranged for its meaning. And actually poetry here is effective, very effective on people, on steering the imagination of people more than any other kinds of literature, because poetry is effective for children more than, for example, prose. or more than the other kinds of media. Poetry in particular, literature in general, and poetry in particular, because they were affected by the words of poetry, by the musical things of poetry, by the imitation or repetition of the words. So they affected greatly by poetry more than by other branches of literature. So children poetry is a type of verse that composed for young to teach them in a funny way. It is written in a simple language, of course, because it is composed for children, so it has to be written in a simple language, and with repetitive lines that can easily inspire their imagination as well as sponsor their curiosity. Some poets use dream-like words in order to arouse children's imagination. Here, the role of imagination in poetry is a subject that has existed for centuries. Notably, imagination was considered to be a central component of Romantic poetry, which poets such as William Wordsworth and William Blake, who are very important and famous poets in Romantic period, Romantic age, using the technique extensively in their poems. Blake considered the imagination as a means by which man could know the world. Imagination is a means by man could know the world. With imagination, the essence of the things can be seen clearly. It is sort of divine vision. The poet is a prophet that he has a creature power to see the reality of things, while Wordsworth thought that imagination is a supreme gift. It is the power to see into reality. Philosophers such as John Locke and Immanuel Kant also spent a considerable amount of their time in the 18th century asserting how poets use imagination in their literary works. Over the years, there have been significant efforts to include fantastic and imaginative settings in children's poetry, with some authors attaching illustrations and pictures to their poems. Imagination as an avenue for escapism. Okay. One of the purposes of imagination in children's poetry is that it serves as a tool that children can use to escape their physical world. Platery observed that reading allows children to use their imagination in transporting themselves to places they have never seen. This ability enables children to escape from the physical world, and especially experiences they perceive as being unpleasant or dull. In the land of storybooks, the poem's main character is a young boy who uses his collection of books to transport himself to other imaginary worlds. This event takes place as the rest of the child's family sits around a bonfire in a winter evening, doing nothing but idling and talking. Imagination is therefore something that children can use to pursue activities that interest them, especially in instances when they cannot engage in their usual play. So, the need to overcome boredom is among the common factors that cause children to participate in active imagination. In particular, imagination allows children to avoid boredom by being able to picture things, people, situations, and worlds that do not exist. Children then use these experiences to shape their relationships with the external world. Text, visual images, and multi-sensory input all work together to enable children to bridge the gap between their senses and their thoughts. Such behavior can especially be evident when a child is bored. In the land of storybooks, the character describes the evening in a manner that creates the impression that he is bored. As much as the child would like to play, he cannot do so and ends up seeking other options that would help them to avert boredom. The poem's first stanzas read, "At the evening when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing and do not play and anything." It means that the child is looking for someone to play with him, not to sit with him. So he is trying to find another world of imagination in order to escape from his reality. Okay, so he is not satisfied with the relationship with his family. He doesn't interest no more in the sitting of his family, so he wants to escape from his own real world in order to the other world of imagination. Such an example demonstrates how the lack of play could easily cause a lot of boredom for a child. Unlike adults who can spend their time idling, talking and singing, children feel the need to engage in a lot of play. In instances where the child cannot play because of one reason or another, imagination becomes the next ideal option for him or her. In the case depicted in the land of storybooks, the child cannot participate in physical play as it is called evening. Instead, he chooses to hide away from the rest of the family and read his books. The reading allows him to transport himself to fantastic world made up of jungles and wild animals. Another stanza of the poem reads so and so. Here I wanted to say that, of course, this poem was written in the 19th century, so in the previous time. So social media were not found at that time, were not available. So he looked for the books in order to bring him from his real life to the imagination. But now social media has a great role in order to steer the imagination of children poetry to one side or another. It could be positive or effective. It be a positive or effective role on children poetry, of course, and it is almost, as I think, it is almost positive for the children. But here we have to concentrate on two important points. The first point is the kind of social media that's provided for children, and the other one is the role of parents to control the interest of their children by using this social media. This is the important thing that we have to refer, actually. Here, the second one, imagination as an aspect of a play. Poets can also appeal to readers by showing how imagination in children's poetry provides insights into the experiences of children during playtime. Typically, children tend to engage in a lot of play and in the process end up creating characters out of their own imagination. A play therefore serves a crucial role in the development of a child. The Unseen Playmate tells the story. It is another poem. There are three poems. The first one that we talked about, and this is another poem, The Unseen Playmate, tells the story of an invisible, a friend who joins children as they play. The author indicates that none of the children can see this friend, but they all imagine that he is there playing alongside them every other day. A section of the poem reads, "A friend of the children comes out of the wood. Nobody heard him and nobody saw." It is a creature of their imagination. He is not a real boy. So evidently, this poem leverages the fact that a child's imagination is considerably different from that of an adult. For adults, the idea of having friendships with imaginary friends may seem absurd. Children, on the other hand, often engage in pretend elocutionary acts that allow them to create imaginary friends and even name them. Such experiences are undoubtedly unique to children, and they are based on the child's ability to utilize imagination as a tool to enhance the quality of a playtime. Rather than restricting their play to physical friends, children can use their imagination to add more playmates to their games and make the experience even more enjoyable. Children who lack physical friends could also create an imaginary one to provide them with the support and engagement they need during the playtime. And an understanding of how imagination is children's poetry allows reader to gain deeper insight into the experiences of child's crucial. Imagination therefore allows children to capitalize on the full benefits of a play and even address shortcomings and fears that they may encounter during the playtime. Different approaches can be used in analyzing how imagination is used in children's poetry. The first strategy involves examining the workings of the mind, while the second technique focuses on the object of fantasy. In the case of the unseen playmate, the poet was keen on depicting the imaginary friend as the object of the child's imagination. Indeed, this friend helps the child to enjoy playtime and even keeps his toys safe at night. Such examples demonstrate how children...
Doctor, we start running
Yes.
out of time.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all. That's the third time. Sorry, doctor. The third poem is the same. When the child imagines his bed as a boat in order to sail, and he wanted to be a sailor, so he imagines his bed as a boat. This is the third. The third poem, and we can go to conclusion. There is a time to go to conclusion. Sorry. Conclusion: efforts to use imagination in children's poetry can be highly effective in the primary goal. If the primary goal is to enable the reader to understand how children often utilize imagination to supplement their experience in the physical world. An analysis of two poems written by Roberto Stevenson, and so on. So this is a conclusion. The conclusion also I can add to the conclusion that the role of media, of social media, to steer the imagination of children poetry to the positive way, and this is of course by the control of their parents and of the kind or sort of media that they deal with. Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
Dr. Dana, could the title be changed or modified little, okay?
Yes.
The role of children poetry imagination
Yes.
and parental authority, non-objective challenges. I think here you mentioned the parental authority
Yes.
and the non-objective media, okay?
Yes.
So
As
try to renovate it in
Yes,
such
as
a way.
I told you before, Doctor, it has to be changed actually. Yes,
inshallah,
in order to be suitable to our.
The axis of
Yes.
the conference,
Okay,
inshallah.
okay.
Yes, Doctor?
Doctor, thanks to have many questions.
Yeah, many.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
but
okay.
should be
This is quarterly meeting.
delimited, okay? You know, we are running out of time.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it physical performance or through social media or internet?
No, actually,
This is the question.
of what?
Second question.
Which one? Sorry.
This is
Let
we mean children's pottery. This is physically done or through internet or through website or through internet?
Physically done. What do you mean? This
And
is
they will do a performance or they follow it through
by poetry, imagination. This
Yes.
is imagination
Yeah,
only.
or they will follow or view it.
This is an imagination. Can be affected by
Okay.
social media.
This which kind of children?
Yes.
Iraqi children is still 18 years.
No.
Yes.
In other countries, still 16,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Second, third question. Social media in Iraqi, forget Iraqi children.
Yes.
But outside, they cannot make Facebook account below than 16. Impossible. Not like Iraqi, they change his birthday.
Yes.
So this is I'm confused actually. Is can be applied for Iraqi children or not?
No,
Because
not for Iraqi.
Facebook, impossible to be used by children. In Europe, in
Yes.
America, Europe, Canada, after 16 is adult.
Yes.
Below 16 is kids, children.
Yes.
They couldn't open Twitter or Facebook, or they cannot get account.
They can't use.
Yes. But here in Iraq, so if we say children and combine them, join them with Facebook, social media,
Yes.
this cannot work.
It's one of the main principles of the Romantic age. And the Wordsworth here, or the Wordsworth, we can say theory, the child is the father of the man. So here he means what? He means the imagination, fantasy. And how does it, we can say change and modify the
Yes, they
child
can
mind.
put their imagination, but out of social media.
Yes, so what I understand here, the parental authority, just to keep the imagination of the child intact, pure, right?
Let us say that it is about the imagination of children in Iraq. Let us say, or in our countries, in our Arab countries, all of them are in touch with the media and social media genres that they are affected, maybe badly or
They can
positively
follow,
or
they can
negatively
follow.
affected.
Children media channel, but they
Yes.
cannot follow social media. Impossible.
Social media, children, the same social media, children here
No,
in
social
Iraq,
media,
they use,
I mean media channels for children,
yes,
but not social media.
So
Social media
she
will
she mentioned the
was-
parental authority. I mean, father and mother
yes, I
should
mentioned this.
monitor their children to keep their imagination pure, intact.
Yes,
Yes.
monitor children channels,
Yes.
media channels,
Yes.
Yes.
but not Facebook.
But I mean,
No, but
all
Facebook,
here
it's not-
literature considered as a media. Okay, I mean
Yeah, but
poetry.
children cannot
Yes,
access
what I mentioned,
Children, they
what I
cannot
have mentioned
access
just before maybe 5 minutes.
The advertisements.
They cannot access.
No, advertisements in the TV.
Yes,
In the
so it is
channel
not
TV,
social media.
Social
Yes.
media.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You have any question? Okay.
Director, you said that the children, they escape from the
Realism.
to the world of imagination. Why? Why do
Because they
children
were
want
not
to escape
satisfied
from
about their own
Do you want them to
Reality.
escape?
What?
Do you want them to escape from the
I remember when I was in a primary school, my teacher, I remember that my teacher was asking us
Drive
to
forward.
close our eyes and try to imagine or to dream of something, and after that she was asking us what do you imagine. So imagination is very important since that time. It is not happened nowadays.
So when they escape from the
Reality to imagination, of
can
course,
you give an
because
example how they escape
Yeah,
from the
it could be,
yes, I
Dr.
make
Lorena,
all of the
sorry for interrupting, okay? Imagination could be a kind of defense mechanism. Could be. But it's not the target, the main target. I mean here, according to the Romantic age, the child is the father of the man. So children or the child as the brick foundation of the society. And we started from the child to write, whatever we want, to engrave whatever we want. The children as they are innocent. This is what meant here in this article. Okay, I mean both could be as a defense mechanism and as pure imagination. Okay.
child can escape from his realism to a world of imagination, and I saw many.
Why he wants to escape from the
Because
world?
he is not satisfied. He wants his own
Satisfied
world.
what?
He wants to create his own world.
His desire,
Another
for
world
example.
that is suitable for him. He is a child. He is thinking in a different way.
Okay,
He's
so
thinking
wait,
in a
Dr.
different
Wade,
way.
okay, I mean after the session you could take your time, okay, with Dr. Udayn,
You
inshallah.
can return back to your child's age.
Yes, if you
Remember
were a
what
child,
you
it
did
would be,
at that
yes,
time.
yes.
Maybe.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Udayn. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thank you.
Now we come to Dr. Adawiya Sattar to have her article, and she is almost always welcomed in العميد activities, and I think this is for third time.
Yes.
I have my honor to meet her. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Adawiya, and you could start your paper.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليكم.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وترحم على محمد وآل محمد كأفضل ما صليت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. The title of the research is the Conversational Strategies in Religious Discourse to Face Misleading Media. Yes, in relation to what is indicated and managed by Dr. Safa, that the responsibility or the confronting of misleading media is a social responsibility that must be taken into consideration from all the members of the society, including educated ones, teachers, media professionals, and as well as the clerics or preachers. And this is the concern of our paper here. As we know, the greatest challenge nowadays is a doctrinal one, that is through which our doctrine as a Shia is accused or attacked by many other doctrines that we are, or that our doctrine is based on discrimination, based on color and other features, or what it is called infidelity and atheism. When we go to graves of guardians and the prophets to ask God's help or God's mercy. Yes, media means knowledge and informing. This is the, as we know, media is a double-edged sword. This is the positive side of it, or positive use. That is, media means knowledge and informing. It is one of the most important natural rights and freedoms that are closely related to the human's personality. This paper is devoted to studying how this freedom and rights are to be exercised in a civilized and polite way, away from misrepresentation and distortion of truths, ideas, and beliefs. This role is practiced by some important segments or figures in society, including the religious ones. The role of a religious segment is represented by many practices, such as religious sermons, by which misleading media is being forced strongly by adopting different pragmatic conversational strategies, such as hinting, argumentative, solidarity, and directive, as we know. Misleading media has many activities and practices that cause a great challenge for us to diversify the practices also and activities in society in all the aspects of it, including the religious one. So I remember that one of my students in college told me that really I hate to listen to a religious sermon. Why? Because all of the preachers, as he said, concentrate on some points rather than the others, such as don't watch a football game or don't sing songs and so on. What's new? We need new activities, practices that attract the attention of people and keep them away from media, social media. Using of some different strategical conversation or conversation strategies, such as they are presented here, is the most important role that must be practiced by religious figures. The aim of analysis is to show the effect of these strategies in religious discourse to efface the media falsity. The data of analysis consists of 3 religious discourses delivered by Sheikh Ja'far Ibrahimi, Muhammad al-Hamidawi, and Sheikh Ahmad al-Wa'ili rahimahullah, which are delivered in authentic Arabic-speaking situations. These 3 discourses are analyzed according to a Shahri model of conversational strategies, within which Aristotelian appeal to the audience, ethos, logos and pathos are also included. What do you mean by authors and logos? It is accordingly, it is hypothesized that the media is a double-edged sword. It is either used to inform people and enlighten them with the truths as they are without misrepresentation, without falsification, or for misleading and distorting the truths for utilitarian purposes. And this is what happened with Sheikh Ja'far al-Ibrahimi when he said that the Egyptian artist Muhammad Ramadan is a black one. He does not mean the color of his face. He means that the moral side of his personality. And one of the strategies that he uses is intertextuality. He borrows some Quranic verses and some proverbs. I think he said that وَالطِّينَةُ السَّوْدَاء هَيْهَاتَ تَبْيَضُّ سَجَايَاهَا. This proverb is not does not
the
refer.
Arabic session is almost finished, okay, and we are by some means or other dovetail with them, okay?
Okay.
So please, could you limit yourself to at least 2 minutes, please, okay?
Okay. Or for misleading and distorting the truth for utilitarian purposes. The religious institution has an effective role in confronting the misleading and distorted media through many targeted practices. Yes, based on content, before the content, let us say regarding discourse functions, religious discourse present persuasive discourse. This is the most important aim of religious discourse, that persuasion, which aims at creating and reflecting ideology. In this sense, religious discourse can be considered as a means of ideological persuasion. The model of analysis is a developed one, which contains the conversational strategies of al-Shahri that when he identify or divide the types of strategies according to the social criteria from which solidarity and directive strategies is used. The form of discourse hinting strategy through which the preacher or the speaker can use some metaphorical devices such as metonymy according to the aim of the discourse, an argumentative and persuasive strategy is used. This is the model of the analysis through 3 types of conversational strategies, and within them Aristotelian appeals for logos, pathos, and logos are included. Conclusion. Social media is becoming very popular as a means of global communication by which the social interactions become very easy and fast. And this is the positive side of this sword. One of the principles of media is freedom. Okay, freedom of media, which allows free communication between 2 or more parties in order to present information and the truth with awareness, honesty and clarity, without distortion or fabrication. This is the first conclusion. 2, one of the institutions that confronted the freedom of media that distorted the truth is the religious one, with its branches and activities such as sermons, lectures, and interviews that are transmitted directly or indirectly through television broadcast or internet. In this paper, 2 suspicions are refuted by different conversational strategies. The former, that the Shiite doctrine and its representatives are arguing the racial discrimination, which based on color, as what happened with Sheikh Ja'far al-Ibrahimi. The latter is that praying and seeking help from others rather than God are regarded disbelief and polytheism. These false ideas are transmitted largely by the social media, whereas the truth is that, what is the truth? That it must be illustrated for the people. That is that the prophets and guardians have a special status for their loyalty and sincerity in worshipping that makes their graves places of God's mercy, since it is close to the doors of God's deeds and they are really good ones. And thanks a lot for your listening.
Thank you, Dr.
But I
Adawiya,
don't
and we are
cover all the
sorry,
content of the
rightly
paper.
sorry, okay, and almost always it comes home to boost. I mean, we
Yes.
do injustice with our researchers. Thank you very much.
So the benefit is not complete.
Okay, actually, the benefit, it will be in the proceeding, inshallah, when it's published.
Okay.
Inshallah, thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Walid, please. Now your role, okay. Dr. Walid, now with his article, we are running off time because the main session almost terminating now, okay? Yes, please, Dr. Walid.
I'll be very quick and
Okay,
there will be no time for
yes,
questions.
you have 2 minutes.
That's very good.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so the title of my research is The Glorious Quran, the language of the glorious Quran, and the sustainability of objective media. So this topic is quite daunting. Of course, the opposite of objective media is non-objective media. So I have been asked, what does the glorious Quran have to do with objective media? So first I'm going to give you some examples from the glorious Quran. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ اتَّبِعُوا
2 examples to the conclusion, please, Dr. Walid, okay? 2 examples with the conclusion. We have no time. Okay?
Yeah.
They are terminating.
Okay.
Yes.
So وإذا قيل لهم اتبعوا ما أنزل الله قالوا بل نتبع ما وجدنا عليه آباءنا. So another ayah from the glorious Quran. إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله. So we have those people, the Prophet's son, they say that we follow our fathers, what our fathers are worshipping, we follow them. And those people, they say that we follow our fathers. So which one is on the right side and which one on the wrong side? So the answer will be in the third ayah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا. This means that you have to verify. So the answer to the question, how do we know which one is on the right side and which one on the wrong side? We have to verify. So how we are going to verify? So of course, if we know the answer to the question, the difference between who is on the right side and who is on the wrong side, if we know this, we know what is the difference between objective and non-objective media. Media, whether objective or non-objective, relies on rhetoric. And the use of rhetoric, which is the art of persuasion, has 2 sides. The first side is called black art, where people use effective language to deceive. And the second one is when rhetoric correlates with telling the truth, as well as the persuasive, effective impact. So, actually, in my last research, which was titled, or part of the title is Pragmatic Argumentation, I have tackled this. If you can find this, the research online, you can read it and benefit. Okay, so
Conclusion. Okay.
conclusion.
Okay.
The good point that we have no questions.
Yes.
We have no time for questions.
We have no time also. We are running off time.
So I'm very lucky.
Yes, they
Okay,
are
so-
terminating, as I told you. Yes,
I
the
want-
conclusion,
Yeah.
please.
I want to say an example. الكذب المصفط أحسن من الصدق المخربط. Okay, so we think that, I think that this is incorrect. That الكذب المصفط, I say that الكذب المصفط is objective media, non-objective media. الكذب المصفط. And الصدق المخربط, I say that it is. We have no time.
Okay, yes.
I don't know what to
Okay,
say.
conclude. Okay, conclude.
Okay.
And what's the conclusion of your article as a whole?
Okay, I say that in order to know what is the difference between objective media and non-objective media,
Yeah.
we have
Okay.
to know about the
Mash.
criteria of that is found in the message. And in order to know something about this criteria, this means that the strength of the message. The strength of the message
Depends
in
on-
one sentence, I want to say that the glorious Quran is different from other kinds of language. Is that it makes a balance between effectiveness and reasonableness. So when you read something in the glorious Quran, it logically and affect and make an impact upon the audience and readers of the glorious Quran. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Walid.
No further.
Indeed, and I assault against you, okay? Next time you'll be reimbursed, okay? I promise. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and we hope to see you again and again in the coming conference. Thank you for your articles. Thank you for your patience, and inshallah, next time it will be great to meet you all again. Thank you very much.